Welcome to the channel Infinity Studios. In this particular video, I would be explaining in detail about Harness, which is one of the recent CI/CD tools. Also, I will be giving you a walkthrough of the entire Harness platform and will be explaining you the different set of features that are available on Harness. And also, in the upcoming videos, I would be demonstrating you how to create organizations, how to create the projects within the organizations, how to set up the pipelines, and how to configure the delegates, and the ways of how do we trigger the pipelines in an automated fashion and in a manual way on this Harness platform. So to get started, let me give you an overview of this entire Harness platform. So this is how the Harness dashboard looks like once you log in with your email ID, and then this is the home page, and at the bottom you have the dashboards, which is specifically meant for the enterprise editions. So wherein in order to you need to subscribe to a certain plans, and then you will be having the access to view different set of dashboards over here. And if you can go to the account settings, you will be able to see the different sort of settings, like how does it looks like, what's your account name, what's your account ID, all the basic details of your account, and the different modules which you have subscribed. And if you can go to the authentication tab, you can see the different ways of how you can log into the system and how can you make the users to authenticate with the other systems, or else how do they integrate Harness with the other systems. So like you can also see some of the features like open authorization, or the SAML provider authentication, or end authorization, or the LDAP authentication, and these are the different set of authentication ways how you can integrate or how you can access into the systems. And there is a special tab also for account resources, wherein you will be able to see the different resources like services or the environment setups, and how do you configure the or create the connectors, how do you set up the delegates, Harness delegates, and how to configure the secrets. So these are the different set of features available on the Harness platform, and each of the resource will be having its own importance, and they are used in different areas whenever you try to create a pipeline or whenever you try to trigger the pipeline. So there are a lot of things. So as you know, like whenever you want to deploy something using a CI/CD tools, you will be connecting the GitHub with the Harness, and then Harness is connected to some AWS. That is where the connectors come into the picture. And there are different environments on the cloud, like sandbox environment, or the development environment, or the QA environment. So there are different set of environments where you wanted to deploy it using Harness. So each of the resources is meant for different use cases, and let's discuss about them in the video further. And if you can see the organizations tab, whenever you create an Harness account, there is one default organization which is created automatically. There is no manual intervention, or you do not need to do anything specifically, and this organization is present by default. And you cannot create any organizations by default because I'm using a very base plan. So I have picked up this account just to showcase you how Harness looks like, and if I wanted to upgrade, I need to pick up some plan so that I will be able to get some advanced features. So if you can see this one default organization, if I go inside this one, I do not have any projects. So in the coming videos, I will be demonstrating you how to create the organizations, how to create the projects within the organization, and all the different set of things that will be used once you come into the Harness platform. And to get started, let me take you through some of the different features that are available on Harness platform. So the first and the foremost one is like it has a beautiful UI. So if you are one of the people who loves UI, then Harness is for you. So if you can see if you can take the example of other CI/CD tools like Circle CI, GitHub Actions, or Jenkins, they have a very plain UI. So if you can see it here, it has some beautiful UI. This is one of the advantages or of using this UI, or sorry, using this platform. And if you can see some of the, as a DevOps engineers, we are never concerned with the UI because we are adapted ourselves to the way how we use terminals or the command lines. And to talk about some of the features, so here we have different set of features like build and test, deploy changes, and manage impact. So the platform itself offers you wide variety of tools like how do you build and test the softwares or the applications, and how do you deploy the applications, and finally everything comes to a single point, which is cost. So using this manage impact or the feature on the available on the harness, you can have a look at your cloud cost or the different features related to the service reliability management. And to discuss about each of the feature in detail, initially one of the common features which of harness or the any other CI/CD tools is like continuous integration and continuous deployment or the continuous delivery. So if you can see this one, as in there is no particular specialty about these tools because they are specifically meant to meet the requirements of CI/CD or automating the things in a more smoother way. So what happens in a continuous integration is like you connect your repository with a pipeline, and the pipeline takes the activities of running the unit test or running the integration test or running the end-to-end test, and once everything is in a perfect manner, you take it to the deployment, which comes under the delivery or deployment. And they also offer you a different set of feature, which is chaos engineering. So wherein in chaos engineering, it is basically one of the engineering practices which was termed by Netflix, one of the streaming sites. So wherein you deliberately try to plug in some of the faults into your system, and then you try to see how your system picks up from those faults. So that is one of the standard practices followed on some of the big streaming platforms or some of the big enterprise applications, where you wanted to see how resilient your application is. So once you pick up the enterprise editions or the enterprise versions on this harness platform, you will be able to access this chaos engineering feature. And also they have a very specific set of security testing orchestration, wherein they have the different set of security tests running across the pipelines or running across the storage things, say like artifacts or the container images or anything. So they have their own set of plugins which were integrated with the platform, and they keeps on tracking the different security aspects of different things that we store on this harness platform. And if you see the continuous delivery or GitOps, so this is wherein it all depends on how well you wanted to deploy your infrastructure. So for example, you have developed a certain features and you wanted to take them into the production environment. So before taking it out there, you have an advantage of enabling few of the plugs or the switches or the toggles, which we call, into the system, so that after once you approve them, they just jump in, the changes are taken into the production environment. So that is one of the features which is commonly available on the different set of CI/CD tools, which is also being offered on harness. And there is another feature called as feature flags, wherein suppose you have taken a feature into the production environment and you found the feature has some bugs in it. So in an there is a need to revert the code changes or the feature change back to the normal mode, so that if you can see the general examples, there might be some time lag. Say like once you push the changes into a production environment using CI/CD tools, and once you want to revert it, it might take a half an hour of time. But with harness platform, you can be able to revert your changes back to normal mode within a less time, and the metric could be around 60% less time of the time which is taken by the other platforms. And so basically these set of features are available only for enterprise once you pick up the enterprise versions. So, and also they offer you the cloud cost management. So this is one of the plugins or the uh, things which harness offers, and you will be able to look out everything on this dashboard itself or on this platform. And this feature is also restricted to only certain set of users who has picked up the enterprise version or the enterprise packs of on this platform. And also the next one comes the software service reliability management, and it all depends on how better you are able to deploy the softwares and how well you are able to cost uh, adjust everything as per your needs. So these are the different set of features available on harness, and in the coming videos I will be explaining you in detail about how to play with these features. And yeah,